My husband of 3 years casually signed our divorce papers, without even glancing at the title. His signature scrawled across the bottom of the page like the final cut of a blade. The silence that followed his signature was deafening. He was far too busy rushing out the door to meet his secret lover, Stephanie. She was the girl who was swapped with me at birth. What Alexander did not know was that I had just accepted an offer to disappear from his life forever, and marry the dying heir of the Stone Corporation instead. I told my biological father I would take the forced engagement meant for his precious fragile daughter Stephanie, but in return, I wanted to be completely erased from the Winslet family. No name, no inheritance, just pretend I was never born. Then I added that this was my last gift to my husband, freedom. For 3 entire years, I worked 5 shifts a day without a break as Alexander's hidden wife and secretary, just to lessen his burdens. But when I was kidnapped and starved in a windowless warehouse, he ignored my desperate calls. My wrists were torn raw from nylon, and I heard them calling Alexander 27 times. Eventually, a woman answered his phone on speaker, laughing that the boss had better things to worry about. While I was a day away from death, the morning tabloids showed him leaving a private resort in Bali with Stephanie. When I finally returned home, he cruelly fired me, claiming I was dragging down his reputation, and replaced me with her. She even smashed a porcelain music box holding the sonogram of the baby I miscarried. Instead of defending me, Alexander called it useless junk, completely ignoring my bleeding hand as he left with her. Before I could leave, he forced me to attend a charity auction. Behind a closed door, I overheard his friends mocking me as infertile. Alexander calmly agreed, stating I was a placeholder, and he would never let a substitute carry his seed. He confessed he had been secretly feeding me strong contraceptives, while I suffered through failed IVF procedures. At the auction, he humiliated me by selling off every sentimental gift I ever gave him. Enraged that I stole her spotlight, Stephanie cornered me and shoved me into a freezing cold storage room. She boasted that while I miscarried, Alexander left me in the hospital to hold her through the night in Paris. As I lost consciousness in the dark, Alexander left the venue with her, the man who had completely ruined my life. But I did not die in that cold room. Damien Stone, the man I promised to marry, halted his own life-saving treatment to rescue me. At the hospital, the doctor gave me the most shocking news. My previous IVF treatment was a success, and I was actually 5 months pregnant. When I returned to the villa to pack my bags, I found Stephanie wearing my pearl-laced wedding gown. It was torn open, and she proudly showed off the red-purple love bites Alexander gave her. I slapped her hard. Alexander walked in right at that moment, locked me in my room, and coldly ordered the staff to starve me until I apologized. Days passed. Weak and starved, I staggered onto the balcony to get some air. Startled by violent fireworks celebrating Stephanie's birthday, I fell hard. Bleeding heavily from my abdomen, the terrified guards begged Alexander on the phone to send a doctor. He coldly replied that it was just another act and ordered them to keep me inside. I barely survived the grueling 8-hour surgery. Alexander rushed into my ward later, panicking because he realized he had forgotten my birthday. He brought expensive gifts like antique brushes and a pendant out of guilt. But when his phone buzzed, he abandoned me again, claiming Stephanie's dog had trouble breathing. A video sent by Damien proved he was actually at a luxurious bridal boutique with Stephanie. He laughed and said he was completely done playing house with me. So, I threw all of his expensive birthday gifts directly into the trash. I left my final present for him with the doctor, the fully signed divorce decree stripping him of his rights as a father. Damien Stone sent a message saying it was time we meet. What happens when Alexander realizes his substitute wife took his only true heir?